When I was in the first grade, and after I was done doing the task Miss Janice gave us, I started reading a book. The teacher looked at me through her thick glasses.
What are you reading? Show me.
I slowly pulled out the book from my lap.
You're reading Shakespeare's sonnets?
I'm sorry, miss.
When did you learn to read this?
When I was 4, Shakespeare is my favorite poet, and Agatha Christie is my favorite author. Miss Janice looked really surprised. She and I had so much in common, and we got closer over time.
Why don't I walk you home today, and I can have a little chat with your parents?
I led Miss Janice to my house, and to my horror, we walked straight into one of Mom and Dad's screaming matches.
How many times do I have to tell you the same thing? It's a ketchup stain.
Stop lying to me. I know that was lipstick.
Mom, Dad, we have a visitor. The two stopped short and turned to look at us.
Hi, I just wanted to talk to you about Luna. We want to put her in the Gifted Kids program and…
Yeah, whatever. Anything you want me to sign before I leave?
And with that, he was out the door. I hated their fighting, but I was too happy to care for a change. He'd be back soon enough. But this time, he just didn't come back. Hi, my name is Luna. Please like and subscribe. Dad just disappeared, and he had even blocked our numbers, and Mom just became a depressed couch potato. I had to keep up with all my schoolwork and do all the house chores. At 14, I was already busy preparing for my SATs and applying to colleges. One day when I was studying at home, I got a phone call that shook my world. Mom had been in a terrible car accident. I called Miss Janice and we rushed over to the hospital. The doctors told us that Mom had suffered a severe head injury and was still unconscious. A week later, Mom finally opened her eyes. The doctor came to check and said everything seemed normal until we asked Mom's name.
Do you remember your name?
It's Candace. Duh.
And what day comes after Tuesday, Candace?
Mom flung a plastic cup at his forehead.
I don't know. Poop face, I want my mommy.
The doctor said he needed to do a brain scan. Mom kicked up such a fuss as the nurses took her away. The doctor made the most shocking discovery ever.
Your mother now has the brain of a 6-year-old. It's possible she'll return to normal, but it could also be permanent.
My mom had turned into an actual baby. My life just turned into a nightmare after that. I had to leave Mom at daycare before going to school. I could see all my college dreams slipping away as I dropped out of my SAT classes. I had enough on my plate right now with Mom and the housework. And boy, was she the brattiest 6-year-old ever! One day when I just finished making dinner, I went to her room and found her busy pulling out everything from the cupboards and throwing it on the floor. Oh my God! Mom, Candace, stop it! Who's gonna clean that up?
Not me.
And she ran out cackling like a little witch. When I went downstairs, she was already at the dinner table. Get your feet off the table, please. A minute later, I got hit by something on my face.
Yuck. I hate broccoli. I want Doritos.
Well, too bad. You have to eat your greens. And then she appeared nauseous. Fine, put on your shoes and we'll go to the grocery store. As I paid at the store, I saw her looking at the Barbie dolls display. I told her we had to go, but she just looked stubbornly at me.
I want one.
No, let's go. What happened next is something I'll never forget. Her eyes filled with rage as she unleashed a scream that was shrill enough. She took and threw the Barbies. And then she threw herself on the floor and started kicking and crying. Horrified, I apologized to the staff and quickly bought a doll. When we finally got home, she took one look at the Barbie and tossed it aside.
Nah, it's really ugly.
And she skipped off to her room happily. Just then, the doorbell rang. I opened the door to see it was Miss Janice. The minute I saw her, I hugged her and started crying. I can't do this. I can't be my mom's mom. I told her I wanted to sell Mom. I would just post it online. Mom for sale. Miss Janice just laughed and hugged me tight.
I found you a part-time job at the local library.
Thank you so much. But soon enough, I discovered the worst thing about being an adult, paying bills every month. How was I going to pay for everything, being a library assistant? That evening, I stopped at an ATM and withdrew the last $100 I had. I almost threw away the receipt without looking when suddenly I froze. I stared at my account balance. $13 billion. I looked around, half expecting a camera crew to pop up behind me and tell me this was a big fat joke. I ran back home and logged onto my computer to check again. Someone had anonymously sent me $13 billion. When Miss Janice came to visit me, I told her about the money. Miss, should I report it to the bank because this is clearly a mistake, right?
No one sends someone $13 billion by mistake, love.
Seems like you've got a mystery guardian angel.
It's yours to enjoy.
And enjoy it, I did. The first thing I did was hire a chef, a maid, and a nanny for Mom. I'd now come home from school to a clean mom, folded laundry, a clean house, and fancy food on the table. I started my SAT classes and college applications again. I could go to any university now and take Mom and the nanny with me. One day, I walked into the lounge to find Mom watching Frozen for the millionth time. When she saw me, she ran over to me excitedly.
I want to be Princess Elsa on my birthday. Look, I'll show you these birthday parties on YouTube.
Okay, Mom can have anything she wants. I threw her a grand birthday party and invited the whole neighborhood. Mom made a special appearance in a gorgeous dress. She almost tripped on her flowing blue dress. As she stepped out, I could see all our neighbors staring and snickering. Sometime later, I went to the bouncy castle to look for Mom and saw her in a corner crying while the other kids shouted.
What are you doing here, you weirdo? You're a grown-up.
You look so stupid and ugly.
I just wanted to be Princess Elsa.
No one talks to my mom like that. Come, Mom, we are going to cut the cake now. As Mom excitedly blew the candles, I made a silent wish too. Please let Mom be normal again. Please let Mom be normal again. When everyone had left, Miss Janice turned to me, smiling.
You did a good thing for your mom. She looked really happy. You should sometimes be a kid and have fun too.
She was right. When the weekend came around and my classmates invited me to a party, I didn't turn them down. Just as I was ready to head out, I found out that my babysitter had bailed on me. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to take Mom with me. My mom threw a tantrum the moment I arrived and wanted to go home. Everyone was staring and laughing at us. Shh, be quiet. She looked at me with terrible tears in her eyes and then burst out crying. I'm sorry, let's go home. When we got home, I had enough money to move out and settle down in another town where I could attend college. Miss Janice was sad that I was leaving. I bought a mansion that was especially made for toddlers and included all kinds of games. On my first day at college, Mom cried so hard and didn't want me to leave her with the nannies and the servants. But I put my hands around her face and kissed her forehead. You will be just fine, Mom. But I was wrong. 2 hours later, I got a phone call and learned that Mom had hit her head again. She was in a coma for 2 days.
Part of her mother's brain still thought she was an adult. That's why she often does dangerous things, thinking she's old enough to do it.
I just realized that leaving for college was still too early. I spent my time at home and started writing. Writing became my only escape. I created my own blog, and to my surprise, people loved my stories. I was inspired by Agatha Christie's novels and wrote many detective stories. People started calling me the modern version of Agatha Christie, saying my stories were addictive. I couldn't be happier. Until one day, I entered my mom's room and found her reading something that didn't look like the children's storybooks I'd given her to read. What are you reading? Show me. You're reading Shakespeare's sonnets?
I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't.
When did you learn to read this?
I started before we moved out. Shakespeare is my favorite poet, and Agatha Christie is my favorite author.
Was my mom a genius kid? Now I knew how it felt to be a genius with neglected parents, and I just wanted to support Mom and help her improve her talent. But I didn't only want to help Mom. I thought all the kids around the world should have a chance too. I used my billions to build huge libraries around the world for gifted and all kinds of kids. I realized that education and science were far more important than money. I had billions, but they couldn't bring me happiness. I found everything I loved in books, and my mom, she was and still is my #1 fan. Oh, and I also discovered that my mystery benefactor was a rich man who had caused Mom's accident. He felt so bad about it that he looked us up and sent me the billions. I'm really thankful for that man. Not for hitting my mom, of course, but for giving me this great opportunity to make a little change in the world. Hey, I'm Luna. Please like and subscribe. I'm about to share a story about the challenges life has thrown at me. My parents, especially my dad, weren't what some would call expressive and loving. They constantly fought and seemed to spend more time hating each other than anything else. Dad always had the TV blaring. The noise kept me up at night, so I often resorted to sleeping with headphones on. I knew he wasn't a bad person. He just had some annoying habits and seemed to enjoy annoying Mom. Mom was kind. She did her best to be the best mom. She'd surprise me with toys and candies. My favorite place was our treehouse, which Mom built for me. It was my escape. I loved spending time there with my bestie Lily.
Luna, everything will be okay. My mom got me 2 dolls, and I want to give you one. Let's grab some ice cream.
Lily was my best friend since kindergarten. She always knew how to cheer me up, sharing her toys with me. We were inseparable, so much so that some people at school mistook us for twins. Plus, Lily had an amazing voice. Sometimes she sang to me until I fell asleep in the treehouse. Lily's family seemed perfect. Her mom was a successful fashion designer, and her dad was a police officer. Sometimes I found myself wishing I was part of her family, but I'd immediately feel guilty knowing my mom loved me. When I was 16, my gymnastics coach said I should compete in another state. Excited, I asked my parents for money to go. Dad, busy with his motorbike, brushed me off.
Wish I could, honey, but I gotta paint the bike. It's my pride and joy.
I could tell Mom wanted to help by the way she looked at me, giving me the "I wish I could help you, dear" look. That day, I made up my mind to do something. I grabbed my dad's motorbike keys, thinking I could ride to the competition myself. But since I didn't really know how to drive, I ended up crashing into a fire hydrant. Dad was furious about his damaged bike. But before he could say anything, Mom intervened.
Don't you dare yell at her!
Mom then hugged me and handed me some money.
Here, take this money. I've been saving it for quite a while now. I love you, baby.
I hugged Mom tightly. I participated in the gymnastics competition and took second place. On the way back, my coach had some really bad news.
Your mom got into an accident while buying ingredients for your favorite apple pie. She's in the hospital now, in a coma.
I couldn't say a word. I just stayed quiet all the way home. When I got back, Dad hugged me and told me not to worry, saying Mom would be okay. Later at dinner, I asked Dad something tough. Dad, can I stay with Lily's family for a bit? It's not that I don't like being with you, but I feel happier there. They really care about me.
Sure, if that makes you happy. I'll talk to Lily's parents.
And Lily's family was really welcoming. Lily's mom used to say,
We're glad to have you, dear. You're like my second daughter from now on.
That's how I ended up living with my best friend's family. They even gave me my own room. Lily's parents were wonderful. They looked after me and made me feel like I was their daughter, even though her dad wasn't always. I loved them with all my heart and thought of them as family. Lily and I even got closer. We'd spend all night talking or playing video games. I still saw my dad from time to time, and he seemed to be improving, becoming nicer.
I'll keep getting better until you say you want to come back and live with me.
Well, that might take some time, but yeah, keep your hopes up. One day, as I was walking around the house, I found a room full of beautiful clothes. Curious, I started trying them on. Lily's mom walked in on me.
You look beautiful. I've always hoped to share my wardrobe with a daughter.
Just then, Lily walked in, and her mom invited her to join.
Lily, darling, come try on some clothes too.
I don't want to.
Soon, I got really close to Lily's mom. We hung out a lot, and I even helped her out at photo shoots, sometimes modeling for her. One day, I was shocked to see my picture on the cover of a big magazine.
I wish Lily liked fashion like you do. Thank you for always being here for me.
I smiled and thanked her for making me feel like part of her family. But something was off with Lily. She started keeping to herself, staying in her room, and didn't want to hang out or do anything with me. When I tried talking to her, she just said,
I want to be left alone.
I was really worried about Lily's sudden change and couldn't figure out what I did wrong. I kept trying to fix things, even apologizing, but nothing worked. She sometimes even yelled at me. I had to give her space, even though it hurt a lot. One evening at dinner, Lily's mom shared some exciting news.
Luna, your teacher called. Your college aptitude test scores were amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Turning to Lily, her mom asked,
And how did yours go, honey?
Oh, I didn't bother with it. I'm going to be a singer, so I don't need it. Maybe one of your famous friends could help produce my album.
I won't do that. I want more for you. You're going to college, and later you can decide what you want.
What? You can't make those decisions for me. I'm going to be a singer, and that's that.
As your mom, yes, I can guide you.
You can't tell me anything.
Lily, stop. Your mom's just trying to help.
You shut up. My life was better before you showed up. Go back to your miserable family and leave us alone. I hate you both.
Angry, Lily knocked all the family pictures off the shelf. After that, Her behavior got worse. She began skipping school and got mad whenever someone tried to talk about what she was doing. Lily's behavior toward me got worse, turning her into what felt like a real-life villain. She constantly tried to make trouble for me, and even though her mom always ended up forgiving me, it just made Lily angrier. For example, Lily switched her unfinished homework with mine, confusing my teacher. Luckily, the teacher sorted it out. Lily made a fake social media account with my name, posting embarrassing stuff. It took a while, but I showed it wasn't me and shut it down. Lily hid a library book I borrowed, causing me to get late fees. Her mom found it later and figured out Lily's trick. Lily messed with my bike's brakes. I felt something was wrong before I rode it and stopped myself from getting hurt. This escalated one afternoon when Lily's mom was away on a business trip and her dad was away at work. Lily decided to do something drastic. She turned the backyard into a makeshift movie theater. I'm not sure showing a movie here is a good idea.
Well, it's better than having you around all the time.
The backyard quickly filled with people, the projector buzzing to life. I stayed inside, trying to avoid the chaos, and was flipping through a magazine when suddenly someone stumbled into my room.
Oops, my bad. I was looking for the kitchen. Hey, is that a magazine about vintage cars? My dad collects them, and I've read a bunch about them. Is that the issue with the 60s muscle cars?
Yes, it is. His name was Brian. We discovered we shared a lot of interests and spent the evening chatting in the kitchen. Just as we were really connecting, the screen outside fell over with a crash. Suddenly, Lily and her mom came in.
Look, Mom, I knew it. Luna set up this whole movie thing just to hang out with her boyfriend.
Boyfriend? That's not true. Why would I organize this party? Lily, you're my only friend here.
Then explain him being in your room. This must be your party.
Enough, Lily. I don't think Luna would do this. But young man, it's time for you to go home. Please.
Lily looked so angry and stormed off. She stopped talking to me and just ignored my existence. I kept talking to Brian. Having him in my life was great. He was nice-looking and well-mannered. His family had money, and he shared his dream of becoming a doctor with me. A few days later, Lily's mom called me into the living room, where I found my dad sitting.
I really care about you and loved having you here, but things with Lily are getting tough. She's feeling left out. Plus, your dad's been talking to us. He's made some changes, wants you back, and misses you a lot.
The past few months have been really tough without you. I love you and want you to come home.
I didn't say much. When I feel a lot, I find it hard to speak. But I managed to say, I'll pack my things. I moved back with Dad. And honestly, things weren't bad. He had really improved, and hanging out with him wasn't bad at all. But I ended up blocking Brian. I didn't have a strong reason to cut him off. I felt like I didn't deserve him and just needed a fresh start. A few months after finishing high school, I couldn't go to college right away. Dad didn't have the money because we had big hospital bills for Mom, so I started working as a pizza delivery person. It was tough, but I never thought about quitting. I worked really hard and finally got into college. I planned to study economics and maybe even start my own business someday. While studying, I took any job I could get. Eventually, I managed to rent a tiny apartment with a view of the city dump. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I could finally study and rest there. Dad even helped me buy a used car for my delivery job. Things were starting to get better. I kept working hard, aiming for success. I often thought about Lily and her parents, and my mom too. I missed them a lot. With exams coming up, I studied all night and worked all day. I felt unstoppable, like nothing could slow me down. But one day, while out on a delivery, I suddenly felt very dizzy, and the next thing I knew, I crashed into a tree. I was rushed to the hospital. Everything hurt, but what pained me the most was my thoughts. Why couldn't things just go right for once? I hugged my pillow and burst into tears. Then a young doctor came in, and I was shocked. Brian, is that really you? He recognized me too.
I always thought I'd run into the girl who broke my heart again.
Feeling embarrassed, I just looked down and stayed quiet as usual. Brian had finished medical school and was now an intern at the hospital. I apologized, and we chatted for a while and swapped phone numbers. Over time, we got closer and started dating. Brian had the kindest heart, and he even helped me with my college fees. One day, I went to the hospital to bring Brian his lunch and decided to visit Mom afterward. I entered her room, and she looked so peaceful, just like an angel. I gently kissed her forehead. Mom, I have to tell you something. I tried to replace you. I was so angry when I felt you gave up on me, so I gave up on you. I was angry at Dad, too. Even though the poor man was struggling without you, I used to be mad at Lily. But as I got older, I understood her, and we made up. I'm friends with her mom now, too. I love them, but no love can match yours. Guess what I found out this morning? I'm pregnant. I'm going to surprise Brian tonight on our date. I think he's going to propose, and I'll say yes. Mom, I'm happy, but my happiness isn't complete without you. Tears overwhelmed me, and I laid my head on her hands. When suddenly, I felt her hands move. Overjoyed, I ran to the doctor like a little kid shouting, "My mommy is awake! My mommy is aware!"
Hi, I'm Irina from Russia. Please like and subscribe. My mom gave birth to 2 identical twins, me and my sister Rita. Unfortunately, we were only a month old when my parents divorced. Mom took Rita to the city while I stayed in the village with Dad. Dad was my only friend because growing up I was super shy and preferred to read and write stories in my journal than play with other kids.
Are you sure you want to spend another Friday night alone, sweetie?
Don't worry, Dad, I'm fine. Aren't you happy I'm not going to any wild parties or dating any boys? Then one day when I was 16, I got a strange visitor.
Hi, Irina. Oh, you're all grown up now, and so beautiful.
Thanks. Do I know you?
Wow. I guess your dad never mentioned me much or kept any pictures. I'm your mom.
Huh? You're joking, right? But she wasn't. Instead, Dad came over and the 2 of them sat down with me in the living room.
All right. I let you come over because you said you had an emergency. So what's going on?
It's Irina's sister, Rita. She's a model and makes a lot of money, but she started struggling with mental illness and suddenly quit. Now, if she doesn't complete her contract, we'll be sued for a crazy amount of money. Irina has to fill in for her. No one will know. I may have to trim her bangs a bit, though.
Wait, what? This is the emergency?
What a stupid and twisted thing to ask your daughter that you haven't seen in 16 years. Get out of my house right now.
They started arguing and I didn't know what to do, so I just slipped out of the room and tried to calm myself down. But Mom just wouldn't give up. And the next day she made me a crazy offer.
Your father mentioned you write stories and that it's your dream to become a famous author. What if I told you I knew an agency that could publish your work and pay you a fortune?
How could I say no to something like that? After that, I convinced Dad to do the modeling contract, and finally he agreed. So I moved to the city where Mom and Rita lived in a mansion. Mom greeted me at the door and hugged me tightly. I still wasn't entirely comfortable with her, but it was nice to feel welcome.
You'll meet Rita later today. She doesn't leave her bedroom. She even has dinner there.
You mean I'll only see her if I come upstairs with you? Doesn't she ever leave the house? Mom didn't answer. She just snapped her fingers and ordered some servants to get me settled in my room. God, this place was so different from what I was used to. And I was curious to meet my mysterious sister, too. That evening, I was reading in my room when I heard a scream outside my room. I went into the hallway to find the maid covered in food. That's when I also saw Mom and Rita.
I told her I wanted pizza for dinner, not these soggy vegetables. Of course, baby. Our mistake. But pizza's not good for you right now. We'll get you the tastiest salad ever. I'll give you a raise, all right? I can't have another servant quit because of her. You always do this. Mom, I don't want a salad. If I don't get a pizza right now, I'll take all of your gold jewelry and give it to the neighbor's dog to chew on and then throw up.
Excuse me, but don't speak to your mom like that. And you certainly didn't need to throw food at your maid.
This is my twin sister, Mom. She has a lot of nerve for a house guest. Also, we may look identical, but her skin is way more blotchy than mine. You should tell the photographer that beforehand.
Geez, this girl was something else. I went off to bed after that, and Mom told me not to take Rita's behavior personally.
I just want her to be happy and healthy.
The next day, I arrived on set, when suddenly I noticed everyone glaring at me and whispering angrily. What was going on? Hey, why is everyone here giving me dirty looks? Did I do something wrong?
Ugh, you're here? I thought you quit after you humiliated me in front of thousands of people. Also, you bullied every single person on set since you started working here, Rita. They were hoping they'd never see you again after you left.
What? I bullied everybody here? And what did I do to you? I mean, I didn't take my meds this morning, so I forgot what happened. Can you remind me?
Ugh, give me a break!
Rita had apparently done a lot of horrible things because every person around me acted like I was some kind of monster. I called Mom and told her what had happened.
You must have spoken with Vlad, Rita's coworker and ex-boyfriend. She dumped him publicly during an acceptance speech for an awards show and said some mean things. Just focus on your work, honey. He's not your problem.
I knew Mom was right, so the next day, I ignored all the death stares and kept to myself. But later that afternoon, Vlad and I had to do a photo shoot together. The photographer was about to start when suddenly she started freaking out.
I cannot work like this. Vlad, how much weight did you gain? The costume designers worked really hard and you. Ugh, forget it. I'm requesting a different model.
What? Why? We've been rehearsing this for weeks and I haven't gained any weight.
He really does look great. Maybe his suit just has to be tailored a bit. The photographer wouldn't listen, and Vlad stormed off with tears in his eyes. Vlad, don't listen to that photographer. You're in great shape. I don't get why she had to be such a jerk.
Well, she wasn't totally wrong. I have put on a little weight. I'm surprised you didn't make fun of me about it.
Have I made fun of your body in the past?
You made fun of it in front of thousands of people. During your award speech, you said you were dumping me because I didn't have abs anymore.
Wow. Well, I'd like to apologize for that. The truth is, I think you're really brave for doing a job like this. I hate having my picture taken. I mean, even though I'm a model. The point is, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I really didn't expect an apology from you. We're still broken up, but thanks for that.
After our talk, Vlad was nicer to me, which made my job a lot easier. One day, I headed to the den to watch some TV when I saw Rita sitting on the couch. What are you doing here?
What do you mean? This is my house, isn't it?
Yeah, but I thought you never came out of your room.
I don't. But my room doesn't have a TV, and I like watching Luna videos on a big screen.
You watch Luna Avatar too? They're my favorite YouTube channel. Their stories are what inspired me to become a writer.
Yeah, I don't care. You can watch with me as long as you keep your mouth shut.
I decided to take the opportunity to spend time with Rita. She obviously had some issues, and I was curious to know more about her. As we were watching videos, Rita's phone suddenly rang, and she looked annoyed.
Why is Vlad calling me?
My heart started racing as Rita answered the phone. Apparently, Vlad had called to ask her out to coffee.
He said he's glad we're getting along better lately, and that I seem happier and healthier. Did you flirt with him or something?
What? No, we're just friendly coworkers.
Listen to me. At your job, you're not Irina. You're Rita. And Rita doesn't want you talking to Vlad at all. I still love him.
You love him, and yet you dumped and publicly body-shamed him? Look, I'm not interested in your ex-boyfriend, but I'm allowed to be his friend. He's not your property, and he deserves to be around someone who doesn't mistreat him. I left before Rita could answer, and the next morning at work, I told Vlad I was sorry if I was rude to him on the phone and that I was happy to hang out.
I really don't have time for your games, Rita.
I'm not playing games, dude. Just whatever you do, don't call or text me on that number again. I got a new number. I convinced Vlad to let me buy him coffee, and as we were walking to a cafe, I saw a lady come up to us with a little girl behind her.
I'm so sorry to bother you, but my daughter is a big fan, and I wanted to say hi. She's just a little shy.
You don't have to feel shy. I'm just a normal girl at the end of the day, like you.
Did your mom buy you this pretty scarf?
Actually, I got it as a present from my agency. Do you want it? I think you'd look even better in it than I do.
No, we can't possibly accept that from you.
Rita, that scarf cost thousands of...
It's okay. Really, I want her to have it. The girl was starry-eyed, and her mom thanked me over and over.
Wow, I can't believe you just did that. You've changed a lot during your vacation, haven't you? Are you in therapy now or something?
I guess you could say that. Vlad insisted on buying me coffee instead of the other way around. And I even got some free pastries since the cashier was also a fan of Rita. I was living like royalty, pretending to be her. And my life as a model just kept getting better. I was getting huge business deals because everyone was amazed at how Rita had apparently made a comeback. But my success drove my sister totally wild.
You're just living your perfect life, aren't you? Oh no, wait! You're living my life!
The only reason I'm even here is because you sabotaged your career with your awful behavior. Rita just threw a pillow at my head and walked off. What a brat. As more time passed, I also started hanging out with Vlad, and we became really close. But I was always hesitant to tell him about my real identity. One night, he walked me home, and when we arrived in front of the house, he took my hand, and I felt my knees go weak.
I had such a lovely day with you. You seem a lot happier and healthier lately. Or maybe I'm just seeing a different side of you.
Suddenly, he leaned in to kiss me, and I found myself pulling away. Vlad, I'm sorry, but I can't kiss you.
What do you mean? I want to give us a second chance. 'Cause you're the new you.
I know. But things with me are more complicated than they look. I have to go, I'm sorry. I quickly snuck inside the house, but when I closed the door, I saw Rita leaning against the wall, and she looked enraged.
I saw you two from my bedroom window. Irina, I told you to stay away from Vlad. I know we haven't grown up together, but you're still my sister, and sisters don't steal each other's boyfriends.
I'm not stealing anything from you. He tried to kiss me, and I refused. But if you still love him, you should reach out and apologize.
Do you think I haven't done that? He won't take me back, Irina. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am trying to work on myself and become a better person. Hurting Vlad was the biggest regret of my life.
I didn't know how to respond to that. And as I lay in bed, I felt torn about what to do. I did have feelings for Vlad, and Rita had been horrible to him, but I still didn't want to hurt her. So the next day at work, I told Vlad I only wanted to be friends.
But why? Is there something you're not telling me?
It's just that. Suddenly, I saw something that made me forget what I wanted to say. The director was putting an envelope next to my purse, and it had my name on it. I left Vlad right away to see what it was. Excuse me, what's in this bag?
The menu for your new diet.
What do you mean I have to drop some weight?
That's ridiculous. We've given you this diet many times, and you are fine. So, can you do your job and follow this diet, or are you going to go crazy and have a mental breakdown again?
I felt like the ground beneath me had collapsed. This was how the agency had treated Rita when she was here. No wonder she'd been struggling. I had to see her right away. I went home and knocked on Rita's door, but there was no answer. Then suddenly, I smelled something weird coming from underneath the floor. So I opened the door and my heart dropped. Rita's entire bedroom was covered with dirty plates, and there was food under her bed that she'd snuck in from the kitchen. At that second, Rita's bathroom door opened.
Oh my God, get out! This is a total invasion of privacy.
Rita, what is all this? The director gave me the diet menu today, and she said she's always given it to you whenever you put on weight. But now I think you have an eating disorder.
My eating disorder led to my breakdown. I thought it was a harmless diet, but they kept telling me that I was still too heavy. So I started starving myself. But I'd get hungry and stuff my face, and the pressure to look perfect got to me. And then I projected my own insecurities onto Vlad. Irina, I was never jealous of you. I just didn't want you to suffer like I did.
Oh my God, I had no idea. I am so sorry.
But it doesn't excuse my behavior. It's turned me into a monster.
I hugged Rita tight and let her cry for a while. And after that, we went straight to the agency to take care of business. But when we arrived, Mom was there, and when she saw Rita, she freaked.
What is she doing here? Irina, I came here to help you sign a contract for a new business deal. We could get into huge trouble if someone sees you two together.
Forget it, Mom. I'm not filling in for Rita anymore. I'm done. You care more about money than you do your daughter's health and well-being. This agency totally mistreated Rita and the other models. And if I stay any longer, I'll go down the same dark path she did.
Oh, Irina, don't be overly dramatic. Rita's breakdown had nothing to do with the agency.
Rita was about to answer when we heard footsteps behind us. And when we turned around, it was Vlad. I hadn't spoken to him since the other day. His eyes got huge as he stared at Rita and me.
Rita, you have a twin?
Actually, I'm not Rita. My name is Irina, and I've been secretly filling in for Rita since last month. She didn't want to continue modeling, but they were going to sue us, and she quit before her contract ended, and...
It was her you've been hanging out with this whole time.
I don't understand. So you both lied to me and the whole world about all this?
It wasn't our choice. Vlad walked away before I could finish, and I was devastated. I wanted to go after him, but I had to take care of other things first. I called Dad right away, and with his help, we filed a lawsuit against both the agency and Mom for mistreatment and fraud. Dad got custody of Rita and got her the therapy she needed, and I was still able to get my stories published. But our little switcheroo was all over the news, and Vlad was still ignoring our calls. Then one day, Vlad texted me to meet him at a cafe, but he said he didn't want to talk to Rita. That was weird. So talk to me. How come you asked me to come here but not Rita?
Because you're the one I want to be with. Irina, you're a better person than Rita is. I was hurt that you lied, but I know you had your reasons.
I'm not a better person than Rita. I just had it way easier than her. She still loves you and wants a second chance.
But she hurt me too deeply, and I don't think I can ever love her the same. You're the one I want to be with.
My heart raced as Vlad took my hands and I stared into his deep, dark eyes. Vlad, maybe someday we can be together, but right now I have to focus on myself. I've been living my sister's life for too long, and I've lost touch with who I am. Still, I've loved every moment I spent with you.
Me too. Good luck, Irina.
And with that, I left the cafe with a smile, ready to start a new chapter of my life.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I'm from Germany. Please like and subscribe to Luna AVATA. I was born to parents who were rich, so rich that we had several maids, chefs, butlers, and drivers who worked around the clock for me and my crazy family. Dad was a genius on the stock trading platform, and Mom was Miss World in 1998. I loved my family, but they were so used to being spoiled that our entire lives revolved around money. Once when I was 7, I wanted to go camping. So Dad hired a set designer to create a camp set in our massive backyard. He also hired a weird mountain man to entertain us with stories and how to make a campfire.
Who wants to hear a bear story?
Yeah, I do. But my sister Lucy, who was 2 years older than me, had her head stuck in her phone. So our camping experience eventually got boring. And soon after, as I grew up, our family hardly spoke to each other. When I was at school, I was crowned the computer genius. Lucy was popular on social media, and we were both the hottest girls in school. Once when I was in 8th grade, 10 boys asked me and my sister out all at once. These boys were so lame and too desperate for our liking. Lucy and I had a checklist. The guys that we dated needed to be smart, rich, and hot. I wasn't worried so much about the rich part. I preferred intelligent guys, and in my school, all of them were rich but also total smurf brains. And then, one day when I was in the 11th grade, a new boy joined her school and took my title of computer genius. I was kind of jealous at first, but when he smiled at me, I melted, having a huge crush on him. Would you like to go out for ice cream sometime?
Will we be celebrating my new title in the school?
Don't rub it in. After that, Gregory and I became an item. He drove a Ferrari and seemed much richer than my family because he lived in a mansion much bigger than mine. Once, when I was in the 12th grade, I decided to visit him at his house unannounced. And when I got to his house, his parents acted very weirdly. I'm here for Greg.
Oh, he's upstairs.
Okay, can I see him? When they finally let me in, I went to Gregory's room and found him busy with something on his computer. Greg?
What? Who let you in?
I'm sorry. I thought I would surprise you. He looked really angry.
I hate surprises. Don't ever come here without calling first.
I was so mad at him when I left. I felt like just breaking up with him, but then he came over to my house with flowers.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have snapped at you. Please forgive me.
I don't know. You acted so strange. What was more important than me?
I was actually planning a surprise trip for the both of us to Thailand.
I immediately forgave him. He was so romantic, and he obviously loved me since he was spending so much on me. We went to Thailand just for the weekend, and my parents liked Gregory, so they also trusted him while we were there. Gregory was all romantic at first, but then he changed when I wanted to go shopping.
Shopping for clothes? Did you bring your credit card to pay for all those clothes?
What? But you said to take whatever you want and you'll pay.
Yeah, but I didn't expect you to buy the entire store.
Lucky for me, I did have my dad's credit card and managed to pay for my stuff. But the next day, I woke up to a shock. Gregory was gone. He left a note along with my plane ticket back home. He broke up with me on a note saying, "Nice knowing you goodbye." What a jerk. I felt like my world was falling apart. Why would he break up with me this way? When I tried to call his number, it went to voicemail. I had to gather my strength and head back home, and maybe then find out why he suddenly just left. Could it be because of all the clothes I bought? But when I got back home, my family was on edge. Everyone was pacing up and down, and as soon as I entered, Dad rushed up to me.
Rose, where's my credit card? Someone hacked all my trading accounts using my credit card, which is linked to every other account. So, Rose, you have to tell me where that credit card is.
I was totally freaking out and tore my whole bag apart looking for that card. And then I asked Dad to take me to Gregory's house, and when we got there, his mansion was empty. Oh my God, Dad, I think Gregory took all our money. Dad looked at me silently. At first, I thought he was going to blame me since Gregory was my boyfriend, but all he did was remain quiet. But Mom and Lucy went berserk.
We are broke because of your scheming, scamming boyfriend.
How was I supposed to know he was a fraudster? He drove a Ferrari and you liked him, Mom.
Yeah, I did, but he was still your boyfriend. You should have analyzed his intentions.
And then Lucy looked at her phone and screamed like someone died. What happened?
The Wi-Fi isn't working. How am I supposed to post my selfies from this morning?
Oh, I was supposed to pay for that today, but not anymore. Girls, I'll be in my office. I have no idea how I'm going to fix this.
I felt like everyone blamed me for this. And after 2 weeks, all our maids, chefs, butlers, drivers, gardeners, and pool cleaners quit because we couldn't pay them. Dad soon started investigating the matter, which was going to take some time, so we all had to adapt to some changes in our overly expensive lifestyle. We managed to keep the house, and since Dad paid our school fees for the entire year, Lucy and I didn't have to change schools, which was a relief.
Okay, so at school nobody knows we're poor, so let's just try and keep it that way.
Of course, why would I want anyone to know that we're poor? Maybe because it's
all your fault.
I am sick and tired of everyone in this family blaming me for everything. That's just so much pressure. I started crying and Lucy felt bad and apologized.
Okay, I'm sorry, but our life just sucks so much right now.
While we sat sulking about our poverty-stricken life, we heard Mom scream from the kitchen.
Somebody help.
Lucy and I ran down to the kitchen and found the stove on fire, and Mom trying to put it out with a tablecloth, and it was reaching for the ceiling.
Ah, it won't stop quickly. Get some water.
While Lucy thought a glass of water would help, I brought the fire extinguisher and thank God was able to put out the fire. But now our entire kitchen was ruined, and there was smoke all over the place. We gotta sit outside until the smoke is gone. Come on. We all sat outside on the stairs, and Mom was in tears telling me how she was trying to cook, but ended up ruining the kitchen.
I guess we'll have to order food. I hope they give us some discount.
Right then, Dad came in, all smiles.
Hello? Everybody?
Oh, did you get our money back?
Nope. I found a job. I'm going back to selling insurance, and once I make some good commission, I'll start trading again and get all the money that we lost.
Well, Daddy's plan didn't follow through the way he saw it. 3 months went by and we were still struggling, and the only thing Dad could afford was food. So I decided it was time to get a part-time job as a waitress.
But Rose, if you work as a waitress, everyone in school will know.
Yes, I know, but maybe if I work I can help Dad pay for the Wi-Fi. Lucy immediately smiled, but she wouldn't dare try to get a job since she cared so much about what people would think. The restaurant I worked at was a classy place where all the rich and mighty dine. And one day, while I served a bunch of top-class businessmen, I overheard their discussion about new digital devices. I got excited and couldn't contain myself. I have plenty of ideas for new devices. Imagine having a portable hard drive is something almost like an iPod, but with more space. That way, users will be able to carry all of their important information on one small iPod. We could even make it have a video presentation for business meetings. After I was done babbling, they looked at me, stunned. Then the tall man with a big forehead was so rude.
You can just get our order, please.
I walked away, feeling embarrassed, and then the next worst thing happened when I waited at my next table. They were girls from my school who envied my sister and me all the time, and the worst of them all was Charlotte.
Wow, you work as a waiter? Ha 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 ha, this must be my lucky day. Wait, I have to take a picture of this.
Oh, Charlotte, get over yourself. I work here and earn my own money, unlike you, a spoiled brat forever.
Ugh, that's no way to talk to your customers. Where's the manager? I want to file a complaint.
He's out to lunch. So, can I take your order? It was the most dreadful day of my life. But the next day when I went to school, everyone called me waiter girl. Since Charlotte posted my picture on Instagram, and during recess, while Lucy and I were minding our own business, Charlotte started being so annoying with her stupid minions.
We've noticed that you two bring lunches to school these days. Should we open up a charity fund dedicated to the richest in the school? Oh, let me rephrase. The poor, smelly girls of the school.
Shut up, Chatroulette. Lucy got up, angrily clenching her fist, and I calmed her down. Don't worry about her, Lucy. She's just a jealous girl who has no goals.
At least my goal is not to be a waiter. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, your goal is probably to be a brainless peanut all your life since you get big fat zeros on all of your tests. Charlotte eventually left us alone, but then after school, Dad picked us up in a rundown car, and Charlotte got the entire school to come and watch us get in it.
Oh my gosh, where did your dad buy this junk from?
At that point, I had had enough of Charlotte's farty face. Just leave me and my family alone. Our financial life is none of your business. Dad was shocked when we got home, and he told us that his contract at work was about to end. So he sold his Land Rover and got us a scrappy car. Life was getting even worse for us. I put on my waiter clothes and got out of the house to work an extra shift. While I was at the restaurant, I found my manager watching Luna AVATA. Wow, you like Luna AVATA?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No problem. I was just surprised.
There was a guy who came looking for you. He left his number.
When I called the number, a part of me was hoping it was Greg calling to say he was sorry and he wanted to give us all our money back. But it wasn't. Hello, you were looking for me at the restaurant.
Yes, our investors liked your pitch that you suddenly decided to blurt out while you were serving our table. We have an offer for you if you could put all those ideas on paper.
Yes, I can. I left my extra shift. I went home and started putting ideas together for new devices. I didn't want to say anything to my family yet. I just wanted to get the offer first. The next day, I met with those business people again, and I was blown out of my mind when they told me I was going to get $100,000. I was on cloud 9. I immediately signed the contract, and they even asked me to stay in contact if I had any other ideas. I couldn't believe this was actually happening, and when I showed my family the check, we celebrated all night.
Rose, you just saved our lives.
Does this mean we can get our chef back? Because I'm getting really tired of eating baked beans every day.
Not just yet. Dad needs to first work his magic on the trading platform, and then maybe. I was so happy to see my family relaxed again. Lucy wanted us to go shopping the next day, since all of our heels were starting to lose their texture. 2 pairs, and that's it, right? We need to use all this money wisely.
Yes, I know. But what if I see a 3rd pair that I like?
Lucy! Just before we could head off to the mall, Dad screamed from the living room.
Rose, you have to see this.
When I went to check what he was talking about, the news was on, and Gregory was handcuffed and sentenced to prison for the next 20 years for being one of the biggest fraudsters in the city. And the parents that he said were his parents were just actors. I felt so relieved. And Dad eventually got a call from the credit card company. With good news, all his money would be returned. Soon after that, I completed school, got my degree in computer science, and became the next richest person in our city. And then, one day I even had my own business meeting at that classy restaurant.
Can I take your order?
Charlotte, you work here now?
Yes. So, can I take your order?
I didn't laugh or insult her because there's really nothing wrong with being a waitress. We all have to start somewhere if we want to make it.
Hi, I'm Emery, and this is my story. But before I continue, please like and subscribe. When I was a kid, my parents always fought a lot. Mom got so fed up that she yanked me out of bed one night and snuck me out the door. Mom, I'm sleepy. I want to go to bed.
Shh. Quiet.
The next thing you know, we'd moved to a tiny apartment in a strange town, and I hated it. I screamed and cried for Mom to take us back home. Take me back! This is whack! I tried reaching out to my dad, but he was always too busy. That made me sad. But Mom found ways to cheer me up. Eventually, I got used to our new place, and hanging out with Mom was pretty cool. After a while, Mom met someone new. Soon they were married, and we moved into a new house. My stepdad was nice, but his daughter was a witch.
Hey, Naomi, welcome your new mom and stepsister.
Welcome them. You, Dad, they're poor. Why are we keeping them here and feeding them? They're disgusting and gross.
Haha, she's just kidding. She's a little shy. She's a sweetheart once you get to know her.
Naomi was the worst. She threw ketchup in my face, turned the lights off when I was reading, tossed my clothes out the window, and stole all my toys. I tried to tell my mom what was going on.
Hey babe, we're guests here. Naomi is a bit spoiled, but we have to learn to accept her.
Thank God Naomi and I didn't go to the same school. Naomi went to an expensive school for brats, and I begged my mom and stepdad to let me stay at my old school. But a few years later, things took a turn. My stepdad's company lost a ton of money and he couldn't keep up with the bills.
Girls, money is tight, so we'll have to enroll both of you in public school.
Public school? No!
Naomi threw the biggest tantrum and refused to eat for a week, though I caught her sneaking cookies from the kitchen at night. On the first day of school, Naomi acted like a total spoiled brat.
Hey everyone! You may see this girl talking to me, but that doesn't mean we're related. She's just our maid.
No, she's our maid.
No, she's our maid.
No, she is our maid.
No, she's our maid.
Naomi and I fought all the time. We shouted at each other in the hallway, had a food fight in the cafeteria, and one time during science class, we started shoving each other and accidentally hurt the teacher who was trying to separate us. She ended up with a broken nose. The kids thought we were insane. Neither of us had any friends. I mean, I couldn't blame them. Naomi was a crazy witch and I'm cool, but shy and weird and insecure and invisible. So yeah, after weeks of being outcasts, we grew a bit closer. Just a bit. 'Cause we were lonely, and we only had each other. Then one day in first grade, our parents sat us down to give us some news.
We're gonna have a baby.
Oh really? That's cool!
A baby? Why would you go and do a stupid thing like that?
The baby came and my parents were so happy.
A beautiful little boy.
Isn't he precious? Let's call him Sam.
I fell in love with Sam immediately, even though he was annoying. He cried a lot and peed all over the place. Naomi avoided Sam like the plague. She'd lock herself in her room and only came out to eat.
Look at his stupid, dirty face. Oh my God. Why is he throwing food everywhere?
I played with Sam every day.
You're so good with him. Honey, could you watch Sam while Dad and I run some errands?
Sure, no problem. As time went on, Mom and Dad started leaving him with me all the time. Eventually, I was Sam's permanent babysitter. When Sam turned 2, he turned into a maniac. He drew on the walls with crayons, smashed an expensive vase, and poured milk in my dad's office drawer. And they blamed me every time.
That vase cost a fortune. I'm taking it out of your allowance.
But it's not my fault.
I told you so.
Told me what?
That the brat was a bad idea. It's only gonna get worse.
And Naomi was right. One day, I had a huge chemistry test and told my parents way in advance that I needed to study. But they still shoved Sam in my face and just left. I'd had enough. I dropped Sam off in Naomi's room and headed out the door.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm done with this family. I'm out of here.
You can't just leave me with this thing.
Watch me. Look, Sammy, she has cookies. Sam grabbed Naomi and I walked out the door.
No, get away. Leave me alone. Help.
I hopped on the bus and went straight to my dad's. He was out of town when I got there, so his maid let me in. For the first time in a long time, I had peace and quiet. My mom and stepdad freaked out when they found out I'd left, but I refused to come back. In school the next day, Naomi ran up to me looking crazy.
I can't take it. Please come back home.
I thought you hated me?
I do, but Sam's a demon. He tore up all my clothes and flushed my makeup down the toilet.
Sounds like you're getting a taste of your own medicine. I turned to walk away, but then Naomi started bawling like a big baby.
Please, I'll do anything. Just come back home.
Okay, maybe I'll come back, but on one condition. You have to do what I say when I ask.
No way. I'm not your maid.
You won't be my maid, you'll be my assistant.
That's even worse.
Take it or leave it. Naomi reluctantly agreed. But even if she hadn't, I'd have moved back anyway because I missed my little Sam. The thought of him being ignored by my shallow parents and selfish Naomi made me sick to my stomach. I moved back in, and whenever our parents left us with Sam, I'd set up a schedule, so Naomi and I shared the responsibilities. Things were great for a while, but they took a turn. When Sam turned 10, He stole my mom's diamond ring and gave it to his classmate to impress her.
A pretty ring for a pretty girl?
Are you crazy? I can't take this.
Sam got so mad he punched the girl in the face. Then he sold mom's ring to his friend.
I'll give it to you for $50.
40!
Deal!
One day, Sam's teacher called my parents in for a meeting. Of course, they were too busy to go and sent me and Naomi instead.
We came because our parents have leukemia.
Oh my god!
No, she means anemia.
No, I think I meant amnesia. They're getting old and crazy.
They're just sick, and we came instead of them. Can you tell us what the problem is?
Sam gave one of his classmates a black eye. He broke a window, and he's been terrorizing the other students.
When we got home, I went straight to Sam's room. We need to talk about what's going on with you in school.
I'm busy!
If you keep this up, you might get expelled.
Get out!
Sam slammed the door in my face. He was very stubborn, but I wanted to help him. When my mom and stepdad came back that night, Naomi and I told them everything.
It's those mean kids, they hate me. And they're always making fun of me because I don't have nice things.
Oh, darling, we're so sorry.
We'll buy you new clothes.
Then Mom took Sam on a shopping spree. I couldn't believe they fell for his act. Later that night, my parents went out of town for a business dinner, and Naomi and I were watching Avatar World videos in my room when Sam appeared out of nowhere.
Hey, stupid witches, you're gonna pay for telling on me.
Get out of the way, psycho! We're trying to watch TV.
Sam pulled out a huge jar of crickets from behind his back and smashed it onto the floor. The crickets landed in our hair and all over our clothes.
Ha ha ha! Get them, my pretties!
A couple of months later, Mom and Stepdad called us into the living room to tell us we were moving into a brand new, fancy house.
So wait, we're rich again?
Yes, we have twice as much money as we had before.
Thank God! I hated being poor.
Now I can go to a fancy college.
Only the best for my daughter.
A month later, Naomi left for college in another city. I could have gone away too, but I was too worried about Sam. So I got enrolled in a college close to home. But soon after, my stepdad enrolled Sam in an expensive private school, and he started hanging out with these spoiled rich kids. I had to make sure that he didn't get into some big trouble. In my sophomore year, I was reading in the park one day when suddenly I spotted a big dog running at crazy speed with a guy my age trying to grab his leash. His name was Alex, and he was a senior in my university. I gave him my hoodie, and we ended up talking for a while. I hadn't even realized 2 hours had gone by. Oh shoot, I gotta go. I gotta check in on my little brother.
So how? How do I get your hoodie back to you? Maybe I could take you out for dinner tomorrow?
Oh, I'm sorry, but with the university and some things at home, I really don't have time to date.
Gotcha. Well, here's my number. Just let me know where I can drop it then.
He started walking away, and so did I. But a part of me felt like I was doing the wrong thing. Hey, wait! How about a coffee tomorrow?
Sounds like a good place to start.
Alex and I started dating, and being with him just made me happy. For the first time, it felt like someone was noticing what I needed and was taking care of me. But things at home with Sam just kept getting worse. He was skipping classes and getting detention all the time. And then some creepy guys started coming around the house looking for Sam when my parents weren't home. When I asked him who they were, he just told me to mind my business. Then one night, Sam came home with a bruised face. Are you okay? What's going on?
I'm fine, sis. I can take care of myself.
Sam, I can't be your babysitter forever. I have a life of my own, and one day I'll just leave.
Then leave. My life, my choices. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change.
Then he just hugged me and cried. The next morning I tried to talk to him, but he was already gone. I'm worried about Sam. I think something's going on with him.
You worry too much, honey. Sam's fine.
Have you seen his face?
He said he got hurt during football practice.
Soon after I graduated, Alex proposed. And I was over the moon! I'd have to move out, but I would only be 10 minutes away from Sam. Not that he seemed to care much either way. And on my wedding day, Sam was nowhere to be found. I kept calling him, but I couldn't get through. And we couldn't postpone the ceremony any longer. I felt so upset that he had missed this. But 2 hours later, I finally got a panicked call from Sam asking me to pick him up from some bad neighborhood. You're not a baby anymore. You just ruined one of the most important days of my life. I've always been there for you, and you couldn't even be there for me, even today. I started to give up hope of fixing him. I was fighting a battle alone, a battle that wasn't mine. And my parents just made things worse. Sam failed high school, but my stepdad paid the school board to give him passing grades. It made me so mad, but I had no say in the matter. Then one day, the company I worked for gave me an amazing job promotion if I moved to California. It was a great opportunity, but I felt unsure. Alex supported me either way, but I tossed and turned all night, thinking about what to do, and finally called Naomi.
You've got one life, Emery. You can either live it for Sam or live it for yourself.
Sam had started interning at his dad's firm, but I observed him for some weeks and saw that he still had the same kind of friends and was still blowing money and partying the same way. And I finally made my decision.
What? You're going to California? That's across the country. I need you here, Emery.
No, not really. You only need me around to clean up your messes. But I'm done doing that. Sam, you were right. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change.
Emery, please. You're all I have.
You've got Mom and Dad, and they'll take care of you in their own way. You're their kid. I just can't be your parent anymore.
But you're my big sister.
And I'll always be there for you as that. So when you decide to fix your ways, come and see me, okay? I love you, Sam, but I'm leaving. It's time.
Come on, babe. You don't really mean it. You can't just leave me. Give me another chance. You know I love you.
Go away.
Man, getting rejected like that hurt a lot. But between you and me, I didn't mind. I actually kind of liked it when she said no. Yeah, it broke my heart, but it was also kind of fun. Hi, my name is Moxie. Please like and subscribe to Luna Avatar. And let's just say I'm sure I'm not like any other guy, you know? After my rejection, I ran home with my aching heart in my chest. As soon as I got home, I was barely through the door when two of my sisters, Clara and Trish, ran up to me. They were both asking me for help frantically, and I could barely hear what each one of them was saying. Things had been really hard since my mom had gone, but I had a lot of things to deal with, and my sisters just couldn't seem to understand.
The kids at school all make fun of me. Can you take me to get new ones?
I'm very busy.
My friend is having a party, and I need to buy a gift. This is the first time I've been invited to anything.
Sorry, I'm way too busy with stuff. I went to my room and got on my computer to message Rachel. I wasn't ready to give up on her yet. I typed, if you take me back, I'll give you my dad's car. But while I waited for a reply, I messaged a few other girls from school. It doesn't hurt to have some backups, right? While I was typing away, my third sister, Lindsay, burst into my room.
I'm hungry. I want to eat a sandwich.
Make it yourself. I'm busy here. She saw that I was chatting to girls online and not studying, but I didn't care. She left without a word, and I went back to my business. Eventually, Rachel messaged me back and finally agreed to meet up with me the next day so we could talk. Just then, my dad suddenly appeared in my room. I quickly made it look like I was doing homework on my computer. He started yelling at me.
You are lazy and selfish. You never help out since your mother passed away.
Leave me alone. I've had enough of you all today. I got up and ran out of the house. The next day, I arrived at the restaurant Rachel had agreed to meet me at. I sat down and things went well for a while. It seemed like she might take me back, but I remembered how weirdly fun it had felt to get turned down by her. So I started to do things that no girl would like. I checked out the waitress as she left the table and asked Rachel to repeat things all the time as if I wasn't paying attention. I made sure to order the most expensive meal on the menu, and she said she would do the same. That seemed to calm her down until the check arrived, that is. You have to pay because I don't have a wallet. That was the last straw. She stood up and threw her glass of water all over me. The whole restaurant was staring as she stormed off, and it was so embarrassing. But even though I was rejected again, it felt more thrilling than it did yesterday. I couldn't enjoy it for long, though, because my dad called me right after that moment.
Where the heck are you?
I'm not a little kid anymore. Like, you can't tell me where to be all the time, or...
You must go home immediately. There is an urgent matter.
I cut the call because Dad always exaggerated everything. I felt bad for a moment, but then I remembered that I'd just been dumped again. I was feeling bad and good at the same time, and when you feel like that, you gotta be out in the rain. I headed home soon after, and the house was in a panic. Lightning had struck a big tree outside our house, and it had fallen down and destroyed our kitchen. I ran up to my dad, who was talking to some firefighters while my sisters cried. Dad screamed at me.
Where the heck were you? I said it was an emergency.
I didn't think you were serious.
You need to get a job to help pay for it.
No way, I don't have time to get a job. I was way too busy. Yeah, I felt bad, but it was my dad's house, and he has to figure it out. I had a lot going on, and I was heartbroken. My dad thought I was talking about being busy with schoolwork, so he said that he'd just have to get a second job. He said,
"Listen, idiot, I pay a lot of money for your education so you don't end up like me. You better make the most of it and work really hard.
Don't pressure me and don't worry about me anymore." Luckily, my bedroom hadn't been hit by the tree, so I could get right back to business. I spent the next few days trying to chat with more and more girls while my dad got a second job. I felt guilty, but I wouldn't be young forever and needed to have fun while I still could. Later, my dad came home all happy, saying that he met a lady at work that he really liked. He said,
"This woman is going to help me forget all my sorrows in life, including you, my son."
The next day at school, I was shocked to see Trevor, a guy from school, holding Rachel's hand. I couldn't believe it. She was already with another guy. I ran over to them and yelled, "Rachel is my girl, get away from her."
Leave me alone, you psycho. It's over between us.
"Rachel, come with me."
She told you to leave her alone, so get lost.
That was the last straw for me. I swung my fist and punched him right in the face. Soon, we were both swinging at each other until 2 teachers came to separate us. We were sent straight to the principal's office, and I was suspended. I left school feeling like I lost everything. And now, first Rachel was gone, and now my dad would probably go insane if he found out I'd been suspended. Trevor's dad was friends with the superintendent, so on top of everything, he got away with no punishment at all. I got home wondering how I was going to break the news to Dad when I saw his new girlfriend had come over for dinner. I just wanted to drown my sorrows in text messages, but then I saw that there was a gorgeous girl around my age with my dad's girlfriend.
This is Millie, my niece.
I was immediately hooked. I started talking to her a lot. She was so gorgeous and smart. Just my type. I knew I had to be with her before I could get to know her a bit more. My dad pulled me into another room and said,
"I really like Millie's aunt, so you need to back off or you'll ruin my chances with her."
I couldn't believe it. This sad old man had no right to control who I spoke to, so I just ignored him. I managed to get Millie's number without my dad noticing and started texting her all the time. She was so cool and agreed to go out with me. The next day, I was getting ready for my date with Millie when my dad phoned and said,
"You had to take my sister Trisha to an important interview for an international college."
Right at the time I was supposed to meet Millie? Heck no.
"I've had enough of your stupid games and excuses. I'm not asking again. Take your sister or else. This is important for her future."
I figured I had enough time to meet Millie and still get Trisha to her interview, so I took her with me to the mall. I told her, "Just keep your mouth shut. I have to see someone real quick." I met Millie and she looked even prettier than she had before. I couldn't believe I was on a date with her. She looked at Trisha and I had to come up with something fast. That's my sister. She has a condition where she looks 16 but has the mind of a 6-year-old. And Trisha looked like she was going to kill me. "We're just gonna hang out here for a bit. Trisha, be good or I won't take you for ice cream later." She sat with her arms crossed, obviously mad at me, but I was too busy with Millie to care. In fact, Millie seemed to really like that I was taking care of my sister. We were having a great time, and I was really falling for her, but something was missing. The fun that I had with Rachel wasn't there, no matter how well the date went. At the end of the date, Millie gave me a hug and said she'd like to see me again. It left me with mixed feelings, to say the least. Right after my hug, Trisha ran up to me furious. She just looked at her phone to check the time and was really panicking. She yelled,
"We're an hour late for my interview, and it's because you're so busy with girls. I'm gonna miss my chance, and it's all your fault."
"Please lower your voice." and we left, but it was too late. The next day, my dad got home in the afternoon and stormed into my room, angrier than ever. Trisha had told him about her missed interview, and he also found out about my suspension. He was screaming loud enough for the whole world to hear it.
You're so selfish. Why can't you be responsible and stay out of trouble, you stupid boy?
I was young and needed to live my life. I ran out of the house as quickly as I could and went to sit in the park. I felt bad about everything. As luck would have it, Millie was at the park too, and she said she wanted to go out with me. We hung out and we were having a good time again, but without even thinking, I tried to sabotage things with her. I pulled the same tricks I pulled with Rachel. After all, they would make any girl furious, right? I checked out other girls, acted disrespectfully, and made Millie pay for stuff. But no matter what I did, she just seemed to like me more. I couldn't understand it. The next day when I got back from school, Clara casually said to me,
"Hey bro, Trish packed her bags and left this morning."
"Where did Trisha go?"
"I don't know."
I went up to Trisha's room and saw that all her stuff was gone. My dad was already furious with me. If he found out about this, he'd kill me. Panicking, I called Millie and told her what happened. She said she knew where Trisha's boyfriend lived and she would probably be there. So we both headed off to his place. When we got there, we found them standing outside and having a fight. Her boyfriend looked so relieved to see us. He said,
"Thank goodness your sister is crazy. She mentioned the C word, commitment, getting married, and being together forever."
I thought you loved me. I just wanted to be with you.
"Hey, watch it. That's no way to treat a woman. Leave her alone. I'm really sorry you missed your interview. I've had a lot of issues lately, but I still love you. Come home with me. I'll do anything."
Anything? Okay, I want your bedroom.
Millie was watching and I couldn't say no, so I just said, "It's a deal, just come home now."
Deal. Let's go home.
We started to head back. I wasn't actually going to give her my room, but it made me look good to say it. Millie was definitely very impressed with me. As we left, I even got a quick kiss. We drove back home and made it before my dad found out. At the front door was Rachel looking furious.
Is this another one of your targets?
Millie turned back to look at me with a confused look.
What the heck is she talking about?
Moxie is a crazy psycho. He treated me like garbage, refused to leave me alone, and then tried to beat up a guy I was with. You should stay far away from him, or he'll treat you like that too.
Maybe you're just too stupid and shallow to understand Moxie. He's complicated, and I love him just the way he is.
Before Rachel could even reply, we heard a huge crashing sound from the living room. We ran in to see my dad's girlfriend storming out. She was yelling,
"I can't believe you said I eat like a cow, you jerk. I don't even want to see your face right now."
She shut herself in the bedroom.
"Open up! Open the door! I'm sorry."
He saw us standing there and smiled.
I don't know why, but I kind of like it when she yells at me like that.
What the heck is wrong with this family?
Then she ran out the door. We all couldn't help but laugh. I've been seeing Millie for a few weeks now, and we're really happy. Since I've been with her, I haven't wanted to spend all my time looking for girls, and my dad is happy that I'm helping around the house more too. Things finally feel less crazy now that I found Millie, and it feels great to be with someone who finally understands me.